journey, every turn is a choice. None of it is accidental. It is the operation of the universe, helping us recognize what is excess or lacking, allowing us to build up or let go of unnecessary burdens. Gratitude is the way to accept everything as it is. When we let go of expectations that everything must happen our way, we begin to see the perfection in how all things operate. Let everything flow in its own rhythm, aligning with the universe's current, to find happiness, peace, and lightness in life. Step by step we cleanse so freedom may be granted angel wings. Maturity is the result of gaining enough experience and learning how to let go of what no longer fits. Gratitude is accepting every existence with respect and embracing things just as they are. Presence is the ability to be fully here in every moment, in every breath, and in all that unfolds. Nurturing is the act of cultivating the values that come to us, a necessary journey to nourish the soul. Letting go is the lesson we learn when the mind is too full of data, clutter, or binding prejudices. Freedom is when the soul is released from pressures, allowing us to express ourselves in our own unique way. Maturity, gratitude, presence, nurturing, letting go, freedom. When weary footsteps finally slow, the door of the day closes, and we return to sit, connecting with Mother Earth, embracing the roots, nourishing from deep within. Winter, 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 carrying warmth deep inside. The flow of energy is fully recharged. Winter, winter, winter arrives, bringing a touch of chill, wrapping up anxieties, letting them fall into endless silence. It is not a retreat, but a moment we choose to turn inward, to understand, to behold. Let the cold wind blow through the branches out there. Let the icy rains wash over the weary frame. The tree remains silent, and I quietly bathe in my breath. The wind howling out there, the chill lingering out there. The cold rain is like a whisper from the earth, seeping deep into every grain of wood, every aged root, not to fade away but to nourish, gathering all life's strength, settling in the depth of our hearts. I am like the tree after a life of toil. Deep within there lies a peaceful respite, listening to the soul after days of haste, absorbing sacred strength, washing away all sorrows. That winter, biting cold yet filled within the cycle of restoration, complete and whole. Dry leaves fall, no longer dancing. The tree stands tall, silent amidst the earth and sky. Though storms may howl, though icy rains may pour, the tree remains unmoved, perfectly still right here. Rooted deep, reaching into the heart of the earth, embracing the love of the motherly soil. The tree nourishes in deep, quiet solitude, to find rest, complete within the void. Resting, resting, for life's apt to revive after the cycle is done, for the roots to turn green in the gentle warmth of the sun. The tree sheds its leaves, sheds its leaves. The tree sheds its leaves, falling, drifting, letting go of all sorrows, gently, so gently, returning them to the mother soil, nourishing like a circle of life, a moment of peaceful silence. The tree holds nothing back, the tree clings to nothing. The tree simply waits for a new season to arrive, bare for just a moment, then green shoots appear again, to beautify the world. Green shoots, silently calling the swallows to build a warm nest. The tree sheds its leaves, casting off all weariness and worries, standing peacefully, living amidst the storms, just shedding leaves. Leaves fall, leaves fall, leaves fall, drifting with the wind. Just like that, just like that, quiet and complete. Letting go, to lighten the soul, to be loved, to be loved, to be loved, embraced and comforted, comforted, loved, loved, love. Look into that ancient forest, look deep inside, and you will see many seeds rising and coexisting. From the tiny blades of grass rising from decaying leaves, to the mighty tree standing tall through the years, their roots anchored deep into Mother Earth. Each seed is shaped by its own cycle, a period of its own, a place of symbiosis and support, where life grows, where short-term and long-term seeds operate together. A seed sown may sprout quickly after a short time. Some need enough time to unfold. Trees grow through support, and when ready they bear fruit. The fruit's sweet or bitter, fast or slow, depends on the seed and the species. With enough rain, wind, and the gathering of causes and conditions, this is how karma manifests in life. A seed sown is never lost, it lies there deep in the soil, silently gathering strength. Whether it is a seed of thought, action, or daily habit, when the time is right and the conditions converge, the fruit naturally emerges. We need not force it, nor can we stop it. As the seed, so the fruit, the law of nature is infallible. Sometimes the result differs from our expectations, yet it is merely the fruit of seeds sown long ago. Like the tree in the forest, it never asks why it is a giant rather than a flower. It simply follows nature to grow and bear fruit. The operation of the mind is the same. Every thought is a seed sent into life. Unconsciously we absorb seeds every day. But when clear awareness arises, we know how to choose the seeds suitable for each plot of our garden. Consciousness, recognizing the law, to be mindful in every thought. When a thought arises, we breathe in to recognize it, we breathe out to choose. Unsuitable, we breathe in with acceptance and breathe out to let it naturally fall away. Without being sown, it will dissolve on its own. If there are seeds already sown that we fail to notice, simply smile, smile, and accept them as part of the process. For every seed, sweet or bitter, is a lesson that makes our garden richer and more profound. We exist in a process of transparent operation. In this very moment, we see clearly the cause we are sowing, and know clearly the fruit silently forming in the garden we create. In this universe, every soul carries a unique source code. It is inherently a seed, bearing an original color and a unique dimension of light that cannot be blended. When we choose to live fully in our true nature, practicing mindfulness in every breath, and taking responsibility for every arising thought, we are not only nurturing self-contained happiness, but also lighting a lamp in the darkness of humanity. It is a process of self-understanding, living completely in alignment with the spiritual genetic code we possess. When we return and dwell in our own truth, our inner torch naturally radiates, glowing according to its own color and intensity. This illumination is a natural progression of the flow of energy. Like a light in the night, the self-radiated light of an awakened person naturally touches those souls who are still struggling. Those currents of energy, whether in darkness or instability, find their way to that light. A journey home to be illuminated, to be recognized, and to awaken the original source code within themselves. Each individual, each seed, is fulfilling a sacred duty on their own unique path. When every star confidently shines brightly in the human sky, they experience their own lessons, eventually converging toward a destination of peace and self-contained happiness. It is a tapestry of life, colorful and complete. In that world, there is no place for contention or separation. It becomes a multi-dimensional space where myriad hues of light resonate together. There, the presence of each person is a piece of the truth. Each source code is a note in the symphony, and all support and protect one another in understanding and love. That self-contained happiness is the most radiant gift we can offer to life. For when each individual lights fully in their own light, the entire sky of humanity sparkles and shines. Like a forest, where every tree grows freely according to its own genetic code, without competing for sunlight, yet all together create a pure and fresh atmosphere for the whole forest. Light, darkness, truth, the truth. Self-light is a journey of practice, stretching across the chain of karma. When looking at karma with eyes that see everything clearly, it is what is necessary to push us to ignite. Self-light practice is looking up from the bottom. Exactly those mistakes, those misguided thoughts, those desires leading the inner consciousness that is a part creating the context for us to fall. We fall so that from there we are forced to have a different identification, so that exactly that context lifts us up. The universe is always operating, pushing us into environments that we are lacking, creating all rules for us to learn our own lessons. Those karmic connections come not for us to be attached to suffering or arrogance, but for us to see the operation clearly. No event only plays the role of pushing us to the bottom of the abyss, but always has supporting roles to help us balance and identify the consciousness clearly. Want to ignite that flame must converge enough causes and conditions of lamp base, oil, wick, adjustment, knob, lamp cover. Everything happens, we do not reject, but acknowledge even those unconscious concepts. Those seeds in the consciousness, like grass in the garden, can never be extinguished. Seeds are always sown in the unconscious, like grass always growing. When life tests so that we identify clearly that everything lies in the cycle of cause and effect. We identify all connections in life that have reasons. We understand the rule, and that is the roles that must happen. Then the superficial negative attitude will decrease. We accept it calmly as it must be and stop searching. Every storm rising up helps the self become resilient, steadfast, strong. There are times of softness, that is an inevitable thing. Also the time to notice the precarious impermanence, for us to work again with the inner self. Observe again, arrange again, review again, list again everything we are still lacking. What we need to cultivate, what to ignite again the lamp of our own self. That is the process, the complete practice through many lifetimes. Follow nature and surrender before the universe to rely on. That light appears naturally complete by sincere gratitude for the convergence of causes and conditions. We can only open the vast compassion heart, love, and empathy naturally arise. Wisdom is inherently present in the consciousness of each person. It is just that we do not have the habit of cleaning it every day. Therefore, when enough causes and conditions have converged, we do not waste an entire human life to ignite the inner lamp of wisdom to be opened. Not naturally. Converge enough causes and conditions to create many loops, only to identify clearly the rule to step out.
Sitting and watching the sunrise, seeing the sun peek over the horizon's curve, I truly realize that every ray of light is ascending, constantly shifting along with the cycle of life. Light glides through the spectrum of emotions, at times gentle and pure, at others intense and passionate, filled with fervor or weighed down by pressure. No light remains stagnant, and no light holds on to its initial softness forever as it shifts. Everything arrives then passes as quickly as the wind, turning into something of the past in the blink of an eye. All our emotions, all our musings are easily stirred by this constant flow. In the end, I choose to love and fully embrace every passing moment. I am grateful for a beam of early morning sun. I cherish a flower just beginning to bloom, and I find peace in a quenching a parched soul. I am learning to listen deeply, to offer a smile without judgment, understanding that behind every face passing on the street is a unique story being written. I have stopped reproaching the scars of yesterday. I embrace my own imperfections, and I allow myself to rest when I am weary. Life, after all, is but a chain of consecutive moments. If one knows how to love all things in the present, one has truly lived this life to the fullest. Keep the joy and the sorrow too, to let the lingering echoes remain without trying to hold on. For once we realize that everything is merely a sensation, we shall step through it all with ease.
The dark night of the soul, a place where the self descends into the abyss of its own being. As darkness falls, the masks we wear begin to slip away. Haunting obsessions, lingering doubts, unfulfilled longings, past mistakes, broken promises, and the sharp sting of loss all rise to the surface. This inner struggle and remorse are not meant as an end, but as a raw exposure of the seeds sown in ignorance of the habits forged in the unconscious. The dark night does not appear
seeds we have kept hidden deep within. In this darkness, our fears and insecurities become living testimonies of the actions we performed in our blindness. It reveals the fractures in the way we have constructed ourselves, exposing worn-out habits and distorted perceptions. It is the moment we stand still in the depths, facing directly the forgotten promises and the wounds never yet named. In that profound stillness, I face myself, I settle into the silence, accepting all that arises within my consciousness. By acknowledging these seeds and existing patterns, I peer through the dust of unconscious actions to reach the roots. This deep, piercing gaze is the first step toward liberation. When we acknowledge what is stirring within, we begin our internal transformation. It is the process of confronting our true essence, so that from this naked truth we may reconstruct our consciousness with greater clarity and authenticity. Throughout these years, my closest companion, who witnessed every tear, every fall, and every joy, has been myself. Only my shadow remains in silence or noise, patiently waiting for me to turn back. Every experience, painful or joyful, was never random. It was a lesson for my soul's evolution. Accepting this means no longer rejecting any part of the past, as every moment built the person I am today. As resistance fades, the struggle within ends. Walking with myself is no longer mere existence, it is a total convergence. It is the union of all experiences, of light and darkness, of soul and body, harmonizing into a pure being. Every action now is not to prove anything to the world, but to express my true self. From now on, my being and soul are one. Every step is an agreement, every breath a pure choice. Achievement is not a final destination, but the peace of aligning with my true nature. Seeking happiness externally creates pressure. Seeking the inner source is true joy. I am the achievement, shining bright in every breath.
Every person, upon entering this world, wears a garment woven from the threads of fate. At times, this garment catches on the thorns of existence, fraying and tearing, no longer fitting the soul that continues to evolve. Yet, these tears are not flaws, They are the imprints of a journey lived, proof that the heart is dared to engage, never turning away from the fullness of experience. When a snag appears, there is no need to rush in search of a replacement. One simply learns to sit, to listen to the rhythm of the heart, and to begin the work of a diligent odyssey. To mend is not to hide what is past, it is to connect the fragments into a harmonious whole, turning the voids into space where peace can breathe. The most precious giving is sharing the warmth from the wounds one has mended by their own hands. As we learn to adjust the garment we wear, we learn to embrace the world with compassion. We do not need a perfect robe by anyone else's standard. We only need what fits the truth within. Each stitch is a choice of persistence. Each thread is an affirmation of freedom. No matter how the cycles of life turn, no matter how often the garment needs tending, let us remain calm as we hold the needle. For in this constant act of creation, we are weaving a beauty uniquely our own. A garment that needs no polish, only the grace of being cherished, worn with courage, and preserved by a heart that has truly learned to love itself. Fear is not an independent entity. It is merely a shadow arising when we have yet to grasp the path. For ages, humanity has questioned why we fear, looking deep into the flow of life. Fear arises from the dimness of the consciousness, when we have not truly seen our own nature. We linger in fear because we do not know who we are, neither understanding the path we tread, nor the destination we reach. This ignorance of the journey inadvertently becomes a wall, leaving us lost in the cycles of the mind. Fear stems from clinging to temporary concepts. This attachment drags along greed, hatred, delusion, affection, and possessiveness. They dim the inherent light of the soul, leaving us lingering in constant insecurity. When we do not allow our being to experience deeply enough, when we do not allow ourselves to receive the whispers of the universe, we remain struggling with an ordinary perceptions. But when we start to pause to see ourselves clearly, fear is merely ripples within the consciousness. Looking deep into the essence, we see it comes from nowhere strange, but originates right from our own inner thoughts. Some beings have realized this early, others are still on the journey of seeking. To seek is to find. That is the natural law of life when we dare to face and accept every facet of life. know that with each passing day, we see ourselves more clearly. Just do what needs to be done. Just perform the necessary actions. With a heart overflowing with love and gratitude, stand firm on the path you have chosen, even though there are many bumps and thorns ahead. When we have thoroughly understood the journey we are on, when we are steadfast in what we aim for, we will grasp the operation of the universe as it unfolds, where the universe is guiding, and we peacefully accept and follow that flow.
Trời chuyển tám.
Body and mind always in motion, like waves that never cease. Yet when we learn to perceive, every passing moment becomes a truth that needs to be heard. When we realize that everything has its own rhythm, we no longer feel hurried. Instead, we learn to slow down, to cherish and savor the authentic beauty of the present. Slow down to realize truth exists in every activity. Truth is always present right there. Truth is present. Authentic beauty of the present. Slow down to realize truth exists in every activity. Truth is always present right there. Truth is present with every breath. Oh, the flow keeps flowing. The flow never stands still. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Happiness does not truly lie in what is sought externally, but begins with turning inward to reflect upon oneself. Giving with a heart that seeks no reward is inherently an inner peace, where one receives lightness in every breath. Temporarily setting aside seeing with eyes or hearing with ears, to let the heart feel and wisdom nurture seeds of kindness. When adversities or past karma arrive, they are welcomed with joy, viewed as precious opportunities for self-transformation. Aware of not being swept away by the turmoil of the world, one gradually maintains mindfulness in every thought, clearly recognizing every greed, hatred, and delusion within oneself. Every connection that comes into life is not accidental. One learns to let go of attachment to self and rigidity to become flexible before the impermanence of all things. Willingly accepting shortcomings as well as persevering in the journey of transformation. For every step brings one closer to the perfection of the soul. Steadfastness of spirit remains present in all circumstances, keeping the mind clear to fully embrace the beauty waiting ahead. When we allow ourselves to slow down, allow ourselves to face even the hidden corners, we will see the true nature of all things and of our very own soul. Happiness. Amidst the hustle and bustle of life, sometimes we ask ourselves whether we are on the right path or just lost at the crossroads. There are days we feel adrift, forgetting that we are here in the present. In truth, no step is in vain, and no event is a coincidence. Every stumble is a teacher, every loss is an opportunity for us to learn how to shed the layers that no longer fit. Life does not arrange difficulties to hinder us, but to help us grow stronger each day. Learn to be grateful, to embrace what is coming, and learn to let go, to release what is past. When the soul is purified, we will find ourselves gifted with wings, building the best beliefs and core values to look deeply within. Let us ride on and draw the journey that you desire. Observe all that is unfolding and just live life as it is. When that happens, there will be no more resistance. Everything becomes lighter, freer, and more peaceful. Step by step purifying, to let freedom be adorned with angel wings. Grateful for everything.
journey, every turn is a choice. None of it is accidental. It is the operation of the universe, helping us recognize what is excess or lacking, allowing us to build up or let go of unnecessary burdens. Gratitude is the way to accept everything as it is. When we let go of expectations that everything must happen our way, we begin to see the perfection
in how all things operate.
Let everything flow in its own rhythm, aligning with the universe's current, to find happiness, peace, and lightness in life.
Step by step we cleanse, so freedom may be granted angel wings.
Maturity is the result of gaining enough experience and learning how to let go of what no longer fits.
Gratitude is accepting every existence with respect and embracing things just as they are.
Presence is the ability to be fully here in every moment, in every breath, and in all that unfolds.
Nurturing is the act of cultivating the values that come to us, a necessary journey to nourish the soul.
Letting go is the lesson we learn when the mind is too full of data,
Clutter of binding prejudices. Freedom is when the soul is released from pressures,
allowing us to express
ourselves in our own unique way.
maturity, gratitude,
Presence,
nurturing,
letting go,
freedom. Energy goes up and down with right and wrong judgments and outside attitudes. That is the dark path. Human life has no ownership. Everything comes and goes because of cause and conditions. Every seed has its own fruit. It will bloom when the time is right. Ignore all outside things. Do the best at your own work. Stop looking at other people's work. Turn back to look inside yourself. See the dark things to clean them. Outside love and respect become nothing when self-love and self-respect are already there. Every effort to prove anything only hurts the mind. Love, hate, or any state is only to see that life is a choice. The one of other people cannot touch the inside energy. The one of yourself is not too much to make you disappointed. Flow and nurture yourself. Conditions will connect by themselves. Control and judgmental looks will disappear when the view changes. Observe and manage everything that comes up. Thoughts, feelings, the inner rebellions. See them and stop, there is no victim. Good luck and bad luck always go together. In good luck there is bad luck. In bad luck there is good luck. Gratitude is the pure way to face reality. Life is simply a space to experience all levels of emotions. Whatever the context, that is the emotion. So that is how emotion is. This emotion is like this. That emotion is like that. When you know the rule, the mind is automatic. experiences are accepted with joy. Every day after all the busyness, the being needs a pause. To sit still and breathe deeply, fully. To return to connection, to release all pressure, all stagnant energy unconsciously weighing down the chest. The breath becomes heavy, the back tense, stiff, as well as all areas on the body contracting. Listening to the call, inhaling to feel the complete expansion, the inflation. All areas are infused with air. Everything inside is widened, helping blood vessels flow smoothly. Energy flows freely. Every cell is liberated. The front, the back, and the whole mechanism of the being is expanded. Places once stagnant or blocked are all touched, awakened, and moved at that moment. All the suppression is pushed to the surface. The feeling of tightness is precisely when the release begins. Full breath affects the chest, the back of the shoulder blades, the lower back spreading up to the neck and shoulders, and the pressures on the head. When breathing, the breath softens all those areas where it is tight. Stagnant will be broken, gradually clear. Sometimes the feeling of numbness in the hands and feet is the being's way of sending a gentle message, reminding us that we need new life force to flow completely. Usually, we forget to reserve for ourselves a pause to replenish energy and release the inner congestion. Observe, listen, understand to see all the fears rising up. Be present with the breath, let the breath unfold on the body. Feel the vibration spreading. Or in the process of moving, one can practice. Inhale fully for the entire presence to expand. Trying to force inhalation only leads to shortness of breath. The more one strives to achieve something, the less the result. Let everything enter and exit naturally, as if to get acquainted, and increase gradually. The breath reaches where the connection spreads. When you cannot inhale further, exhale. If continuing to breathe, when one has become acquainted enough, add a little more. And at this moment, feel the body enter. It stretches each part is stretched according to the breath. If there is enough energy, the whole body receives it. If not, each region will receive it. Do not try to force the being to be full all at once. Get acquainted gradually with that very breath. When gradually bringing energy in, the breath reaches where everything expands. Those blocked areas will be broken. Stagnant places pushed away, clear. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Breathe to see the fullness. Breathe to feel the complete connection. Breathe to clear all blockages. Breathe to break all stagnant flows. Breathe for everything to become light, peaceful with the breath. Listen and feel the love overflowing. Life is a banquet of bitter, spicy, sour, astringent, salty and sweet. Missing any flavor means it cannot be truly complete. Every experience, whether love or bitterness, requires moderation to find balance. For clinging to sweetness while rejecting pain only breeds possessiveness and the fear of loss. We often become addicted to the familiar, even suffering making us fear change. When we stand at the threshold of new experiences, we are all pieces of a soul on a journey. Some experience abundance, others lack, yet all are striving toward being complete. Only through listening and empathy can we recognize what is needed versus what is being depended upon, allowing us to stop at the right moment. If we view life as a banquet, we must perceive all flavors and experience them completely. In every dish, whether it suits us or not, we taste them all to recognize everything, discerning what our essence truly needs and what it does not. Do not fear change, because only through change can we perfect the total essence of the soul. We must taste to know what the essence needs. We must taste to know what the essence does not need. Do not fear change, because only through change do we dare to face ourselves. Because only through change do we dare to step out of old prejudices. Because only through change can we perfect the total essence of the soul. Create an emotional symphony. On this bus, every state is a piece of the journey. When anger, resentment, or grumpiness board, with a scowl, calmness, relaxation, arrive beside them to soothe the heat in the cabin. When confusion, bewilderment, strangeness, shyness, or sarcasm wander around lost, attentiveness, decisiveness, professionalism step up to lead the way. When exhaustion, fatigue, illness, hunger, sleepiness, laziness, or low spirit, bored, feeling weary, serenity, safety, wellness are ready to offer a seat and comfort them both. Suffering, hurt, guilt, stress, pain, regret, anxiety, or emotion are embraced by hope, satisfaction, love, wholeness. To heal every scratch, even loneliness, boredom, gloominess, absence, coldness, disappointment, or tedium are no longer whatever state we pass through, be it confusion, profound suffering, or radiant joy, is neither scattered nor meaningless. These are precious pieces of data that a fragment must collect to understand itself and its source. We come here to taste the flavors of anger, serenity, disappointment, and love. Every emotional symbol, whether positive or negative, is a note in the symphony of experience we are composing. These are all invaluable data points recorded by feeling for the evolution of the soul. And they serve as a reminder that no emotion is eternal. When we no longer cling to any state, but perceive them as the colors needed to complete the painting of our consciousness, we truly become the masters of this journey. When you can name an emotion, whether it be anger, satisfaction, or confusion, you are no longer consumed by it. You have become the observer, quietly looking within yourself. Feelings come to be felt, and then to depart. We are streams of life energy, arriving from the infinite to experience the finite. We borrow this form as a vessel. In the journey of a human life, we pass through all shades of emotion, from confusion, anger, suffering, disappointment, exhaustion, or the feeling of being hurt, to days of joy, freedom, inspiration, or moments of being welcomed, relief, calmness, and serenity. These emotional symbols are precious data that can only be felt and touched when we possess a form. Without this interference, how could we know what vibration is, or the touch of impermanence? What matters is whether we recognize the state we are in. If we cling, we are swept into a chain reaction, where one state pulls another, trapping us in persistent attachment. But when we awaken from a long dream, we understand that everything is just waves passing by one another, arriving and departing like clouds in the sky. We borrow this form to learn how to be human, to complete the self through experiences. And after all, we realize that we are not lost, but gradually becoming whole. This form is a special laboratory for us to understand ourselves, returning to our own energy essence in the inherent freedom and peace. Try to lie still in silence for a moment. Observe this body, a borrowed mortal vessel, from pale white
to yellow, then darkening. The scent of decay rises, striking the senses. Do not panic and do not be afraid. Step outside, be a traveler passing by. Watch the worms arriving, see the flesh dissolve. Watch the creatures of prey coming to claim their share. This is the natural law, as it has always been. This body, merely a prey to time. I am not this clump of decaying flesh. I am the observer, quietly stepping within. Look at the skeleton, every vertebra ivory white. The rib cage supple through all the years. Watch the breath, see the joints in motion. I see myself in every tiny movement. When thoughts arise, look at them clearly. Are they clouds or just a wind passing by? Do not identify the self with fear. Fear only remains when we think it is me. Everything is just a fleeting experience. Stand outside the body, see through all things. Impermanence is real, yet the heart is unburdened. Now at peace, in awakened serenity, contemplating the body's impurity. The steps on the journey home are undisturbed. I came here as an experimental journey, borrowing this body to truly know myself. Grateful for this body today, for providing such profound experiences. Contemplating to see that impermanence is real, loosening the grip on material things. Living without clinging to this mortal frame. Opening the heart wide, arriving and departing like a bright star in the vast sky of the world.
Anh gọi miết thôi à?